Hey everyone, Paul Johnson from Waconia, Minnesota, and also part of the Laughing Trout Fly Tying Club. Today I'm going to be tying an October caddis. Here in the upper Midwest, we really haven't had trout fishing into October, and so the October caddis flies are a little bit new to me and probably to a lot of us. So this is a basic pattern that I picked up from Fly Tyer magazine a couple years ago, and pretty fun fly to tie, and we're going to see how it works. So I'm tying this one on a size 14 scud hook. It's got a 2.8 millimeter nickel bead on it. There is a little shuck of mayfly brown Zelon. The body or the abdomen here is orange scud dubbing. There is a backing of pheasant tail fibers, a ribbing of copper wire. In the thorax here, we have some brown beaver dubbing, and then some brown hackle as well. So let's see how this goes for us today. Get the hook in the vise. I already put my bead on. Thread, I got some 14-aught brown. Not a big thing, I don't believe. What color is the pattern? Just get that thread started right behind the bead. And then I do have a little length of that Zelon. Start that right behind the bead and then tie that in so it stays right on top of the hook shank. And get pretty far down into the bend. And then I'll bring my thread back up a little bit. Cut off that excess from the front. One smooth cut. And then that shuck, just a little shuck there, so I'll keep it pretty short. Next, I have a length of wire. This is brassy, size brassy, and the color is copper. And I'm tying that in on my side of the hook and parallel to the hook shank. Next, I've got some pheasant tail fibers, and counted them off, 10 of them. Oops, sorry, I bumped the camera. And I cut the tips back a little bit. And again, we're going to tie that in, and that's going to get pulled up like you would a scud back. So I want to just make sure that that stays right on top of the hook shank. Got some of that orange scud dubbing. And it's going to take me a couple, 2, possibly even 3 applications here of dubbing to get this put on there just like I like. I start and use a little bit lighter noodle, if you will. So I'll go back over this and get it to the desired thickness. Now, we want to leave just a little space behind the bead. If we could leave about an eye length, that would be helpful when we apply the dubbing on the thorax and then the hackle as well. So just putting some more of that orange scud dubbing on my thread. Try to keep this pretty even. And that looks pretty good. So now I'll pull up that pheasant tail fibers, keep it right on top of the hook shank. See how that looks. Cut off that excess, and then I'm going to counter wrap that wire. And if all goes well, I should get about 5 wraps. Well, it turned out. Okay, so secure that in with my tying thread. You can helicopter that off, or I just come in there with a fingernail clipper and clip that excess off. Now, if that backing, that pheasant tail backing spins around on you, you can just kind of twist that back into place. Now, I want to take just a little bit of that brown beaver dubbing. I like working with beaver and muskrat dubbing. They just stick on the thread so well. So fill that in. Again, we're going to leave just a little space there because we got to put some hackle and we're going to put one more application of dubbing in there. So I've just got some brown rooster hackle. You could use hen hackle, or pretty much anything here that you want. You could use CDC, make a nice collar of that. So I'm going to give this at least 2 full turns. See how that looks? I'll give it one more. We'll go 3 full turns. Tie that in. And then I'm going to come in with just a little bit more of that brown beaver dubbing. And that's just going to kind of push those hackle fibers back just a little bit. Give it more of a swept back look, if you will. And then I'll whip finish. And there we go. October caddis, kind of an emerging caddis, if you will. So we're going to do some more experimenting here this fall and checking out and see if we can find some October caddis dry flies as well. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.